Today, or I guess it's kind of tonight now, but we're gonna try to get this old girl shined up because there's a car show tomorrow that I completely forgot about. Quick always, I'm out of time. I've never done this before. We're gonna try to buff it, use a little linseed oil to spiffen up that patina on there. That patina is all natural. That is, none of that is artificial there. So let's try to get this thing spruced up, put it in the show, and maybe not look like a total hunk of junk. I had previously on this, I had done an SOS pad wash when I first got it out in the dark, so definitely don't have any footage on that. But to do this job, we're going to be using a Milwaukee buffer here. Now it has a speed limiter on it. Now it's still variable. Up until the speed that you limit it on. So this limiter is kind of nice for someone like me that doesn't know what they're doing, and keeps you from going full send just because you got a strong trigger finger. Woo! This is the polish I'm going to use. It says step 3 ultra fine machine polish. I'm basically just going to the last step here on the paint. I just want to take the edge off and make it kind of look not so dull, basically. And the finer it is, the more likely you are to not do permanent damage as easily. So that's why I'm going with this. We'll basically squirt her on this pad, kind of spread it out. And the only reason I do that, you could just go full send, but if you do, you're likely to sling it all over the garage floor instead of onto the truck. On about 1,000, I think. We'll see. I have no clue what I'm doing. I watched like one video and I don't even know if he knew what he was doing. So we're gonna kind of go like that. Is that too fast? I'm gonna slow her down. I don't know. I just can't really tell if I need to go more or less or what. I don't know if I just wipe this off. I should have done all my research. I just want to show you guys really quick the difference here. Look at that. You can actually, I mean, it's not a pro finish by any means, but a couple things I want to show you really quick that I learned. If you're buffing the paint in the area where your patina starts, your paint will drag. So I'm going to be careful not to do any overlap. I'm going to make sure the pad stays on the orange, because you can see here it drug it in before I learned from my mistakes here. Also, stay clear the hell away from any of this old window rubber, antenna rubber, because it will get in your pad and smear all over the place. I already had to change out to a different pad because I got a streak there. That's what that's from, that dark. So just stay clear the hell away from that window trim. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna try to ginger carefully do this do this bonnet area, and try not, because like here I'm just gonna be touch and go, because it will drag it into this white, and I do not want that. So we'll keep going. I think this side's turning out pretty good. I mean, compared to what it was. One thing I want to cover really quick, when you're buffing and you're trying to tell where you've been and blend it to where you haven't been, you can't really tell why you're buffing, because you'll get all that buffing compound on there and you wipe it around and it all looks clear.
You won't really know until you're done buffing and you wipe it dry with a cloth, and then you kind of let it sit for a second, and then the areas will show up. You'll see where you got it buffed nice and smooth and shiny, and then the dull areas will show back through. As you can see right here where I'm buffing, it's all shiny. Now I'll wipe it dry later, and the areas where I didn't hit it as good will start to show themselves. So you don't really know until you stop, wipe it off with a rag, and let it dry for a second. I don't know if it's actually drying, but that's the best way to describe it. And then you'll know where you need to touch it up.
Thought I was being careful around this emblem, but not careful enough. Snagged on her with the old pad. Ripped it right off. I knew it was risky. I did it anyway. We're going to try to save her. Loctite 414. Let's put a little right there. We'll just That's a shame. I had perfect emblems on both sides. Now that the car show started 2 hours ago, let's do the last step. Mix up the linseed oil. Let's see if we can shine up this this rusty stuff. Now, for what I've seen, now I've never done this, what I've seen is people do about 1 part, I think, mineral spirits to about 3 parts boiled linseed oil, just to thin it out a little bit. So we're gonna go about there. This is probably way too much. Yeah, it definitely is. All right, we'll just go there. Let's see, let's dip a little in there. Okay, we'll just kind of start. Just kind of wiping her on, pretty thin. Kind of feather with the paint here. Try to feather it as much as possible. You kind of adjust how thick you put it on with your pressure, and use dry parts of your rag to thin it out. And I'm going to use the dry part of my rag. Oh yeah, to kind of wipe it off the paint there where it's thick. Oh yeah, that looks better. Now I guess this linseed oil is really dangerous, they say. It's kind of controversy. They say they're dangerous and they can spontaneously combust. So I'm going to do something smart with your rag after you're done. Okay, that's got a little gloss to it. That looks alright. Feather that a little bit more. Something I didn't really know about linseed oil. Apparently it kind of dries and hardens a little bit. And I must have had a little pooled here, and right before I drove down the road to the car show, it ran down the side here. So when you do the linseed oil, be careful where you touch it. You really just kind of want to feather it where you want it. I threw this linseed rag over here in the sun, just like that. It's kind of folded over. It's got a little smoke coming out. I could see how these could combust. Let's see if we can polish a little bit of life back off this, or get this dingy off of here. I got this Brasso stuff that's been sitting on my shelf forever. So, okay, you can see that kind of that grime there. Yeah, all that grime there. That's the kind of stuff this will take off. Not necessarily all the rust, but it will take off that grime buildup. It won't make it like mirror finish. This is just a regular foam pad that's been eaten up. Yeah. This, you know, see, it's not perfectly polished there, but I think that just because this truck had a buttload of sand up underneath of it, and I think this ate some sand back there, so this is good. Did end up getting her done about 2 hours late after all the judging was done at the show, but that's all right. I just wanted to take it down there and support those guys anyway. So let's take a look, see how it turned out. It's, you know, it's the first time I've ever buffed anything. I don't know what I'm doing. Keep that in mind. I don't think it turned out too bad. Synchronizers are completely shot. No hard stop for this road. Brakes applied. Uh-oh. They work pretty freaking good. Once. That's the problem with drum brakes. They work fine. You get a little heat in them, and then they fade pretty quick. After sitting out all day, this rag did not ignite, but man, was it close. This was a perfectly fine rag. These holes burned in it. I mean, it was smoking, and that's really all it did. It smoked and smoldered, but it did burn through the rag there. It just never ignited into a flame. It was fine until I sat it out in the sun, kind of balled up, and that's when it started to react. I don't know what it is, but definitely the heat added in there helped get things stirring. Now, I'm not saying it's safe just because it's cold, but man, that really surprised me. I really did not expect it to do that much, and it did not take long at all. So be careful with your linseed rags. Dispose of them properly.